Welcome to the Vol Excel. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all are well. Stay safe. Prayers for our friends and family members and neighbors in Florida, Georgia. Please get to higher ground if you believe you're in an area that may have flooding or cause flooding. And prayers for my aunt and cousin who are now on a boat, of all places, on the seas going towards the Bahamas. Prayers for their safe journey and enjoyment on their cruise. This is a multifaceted live stream pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. We're going to discuss the elephant in the room. Many of you are probably wondering, well, what is that, Queen? We're going to get to that. It should be obvious what the elephant in the room is. Also, commentary about Meek Mill. Didn't put that in the title. He's offered $100,000 for information to why his name was mentioned in an affidavit pertaining to him having a sexual relationship with him. I think it should be obvious why. Because your friend told, allegedly, that you all had sex. Also, a source says he's eating inside of the jail. He doesn't fear for his, food being poisoned. And Vale Johnson, the father that played Family Matters, denies the rumor that he and Puffy Combs were engaged in sexual activity in a back room in his house. And this loose cannon comedian is the one who put the rumor out, saying he busted down this door and found them, which most people would find that very bizarre. Because one, what are you doing going through someone's house in a back room? Number one. Number two, what are you doing busting down a door because you hear people moaning? I'm going to chop all that nonsense up. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Let's get down to business, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe. CNN is the source pertaining to this information. Sean Diddy Combs wants to testify at his criminal trial for charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, according to his attorney. I don't know that I can keep him off the stand. He is very eager to tell his story. Then battle rap mogul's attorney Mark Agnafilo said in an interview for a new TMZ documentary. When contacted by CNN, a representative for Combs declined to elaborate on Agnafilo's comments or say whether Combs will, in fact, take the stand. Well, we'll see. A source with knowledge of the current case tells CNN that the discovery phase has not begun, so it is too early to confirm any witnesses or individuals who could be called to the stand during the upcoming trial. Prosecutors unsealed the 3-count indictment against Combs on September 17th, accusing the artist of orchestrating a criminal enterprise through his business empire that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, and decades of physical abuse against women, among other allegations. A hotel surveillance video first published by CNN in May that showed Combs assaulting his girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 was cited in the indictment against him. Prosecutors allege that the footage showcases Combs' decades-long pattern of physical abuse. Asked by TMZ about videos of Combs, Agnafilo said that if Combs testifies, he would explain his actions in the video. Well, will he be able to explain his actions in his other commentary, in the other evidence, such as videos of sex, drug use, drug selling, forced sex, forced labor? Because I got a feeling you're not going to be able to explain you sexually assaulting a woman with one of your friends and your bodyguard. So we're going to talk about that. And Law and Crime will be the source of that information of the women who brought forward allegations of rape. And we're talking about gang rape. Stay woke. I think he will tell every part of his story, including what you see on the video. So I accept it's going to be explained by the both of us, Agnafilo said in the interview. He has his story, and he has a story that I think only he can tell in the way he can tell it in real time. Prosecutors allege Combs bribed a hotel staff member to ensure in 2016 Ventura's now settled November 2023 lawsuit claimed he paid the hotel $50,000 to obtain the hallway security footage of the assault. Allegations of bribery, making payments to cover up alleged misdeeds, and filming alleged sexual assaults have been made by the government and several accusers in 11 civil suits, which Combs has denied. In charging Combs, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York alleged that Combs held what he called freak-offs, or elaborate sex performances, in which he drugged and coerced victims into extended sex acts with male sex workers. About 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant were seized as a part of the search and investigation. I can't imagine it's thousands, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything. Agnifilo said in his interview with TMZ, one bottle of baby oil goes a long way. Well, that's your opinion, sir. You want us to believe the government has made up allegations against Sean Puffy Combs for having 1,000 damn bottles. So you think somebody just wasted their time by counting imaginary lubricants? That makes no sense. Jesus Christ. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. Well, ask your client. Why don't you ask your client what he needs the bottles for? Please stop me, because I'm drowning up here. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. Well, Costco has made a lot of money. Have they not? Shut your mouth. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. Have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with? Well, no, I haven't. So I have better things to do with my time than sit in the Costco parking lot. But we get your points, little smart ass. In an interview with CNN after Combs was indicted last week, Agnifilo downplayed the number of victims he believes are involved in the criminal charges after prosecutors said that there are more than 50 witnesses or victims have spoken with federal investigators. It's one victim, he told anchor Caitlin Collins. That's all that's in the indictment. Well, now we know. So that must be Cassie Ventura. She's the jump off, the catalyst to this indictment and arrest of Sean Puffy Combs. Well, my. Combs is currently awaiting trial at New York City's notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility that has been home to singer R. Kelly, former bro Martin Shkreli, and socialite Ghislaine Maxwell. Combs is being held in the same housing unit at the MDC as one-time cryptocurrency whiz kid Sam Bankman-Fried and former Honduras President Juan Orlando Hernandez, a source told CNN, explaining that their shared facility is reserved for high-profile inmates and isolated from the general public. That is CNN News if you need verification for the information. Hello, everyone in the chat. So we have an attorney who's saying he doesn't know if he can stop his client from testifying. Well, you can advise your client not to. Most defense attorneys, usually tell their clients it's not in your best interest. Because you see, your client has already been proven a liar. If we're to believe she's the only one bringing forward allegations against him in this indictment, and others will possibly testify of his behavior towards them. Don't know if it'll be allowed in the court or not. We will see if these other testimonies will be allowed, but 50 people or so have testified before a grand jury giving information pertaining to their dealings with Sean, and I'm sure the testimonies were not nice. That's not including whatever the government seized from his homes, which we've gotten indication of 3 AR-15s defaced with serial numbers missing, lots of lubricants and baby oil, devices with pornography, sexual assault, forced labor, drug usage, drugs, probably drugs selling in them too, who knows? And then other allegations, as I said, we'll see what will be allowed in court because everything's about a version, and the court usually does not partake in he said, she said. Let me talk to the attorney for just a second. Let the queen talk to you. You sound like a fool. You sound like most defense attorneys that like to play coy and dumb pertaining to their clients and the allegations and the evidence gathered. You know it's not logical to have 1,000 bottles of lubricants in anyone's home. It doesn't matter if there's 10,000 square feet. It doesn't matter if it's 6,000 square feet. The point is you can only be in one room at a time. You only have 2 feet. You're not an octopus. So that means your legs can't stretch from one room to the other, if you get my drift. Your arms can't stretch from one room to the other. So there's no logical reasoning to have 1,000 bottles. It's not even logical to have 1,100 bottles. Because as I just said, you can only be in one room at a time and you only have one body. You know damn well why he has those bottles. The very reason why he's indicted. The very reason there are Allegations of him liking to engage in sexual activity with multiple partners. That's why. Keep it stocked. I don't got to run to Walgreens and CVS to buy baby oil. Checkmate. Stop the nonsense. Your best advice is to tell your client not to testify because he's already purged himself by denying the allegations in the original lawsuit by Cassie Ventura. And then months later in 2024, the video has been, poof, voila, released to the public to show he lied about putting his hands on her. So then he had to double back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was going through something, blah, 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 I need help, all of those type of crazy psycho babble nonsense. So he's already lied. So what fool's going to get on a witness stand and say, I never put my hands on her? Oh, yeah, that's right. I did put my hands on her, but I lied about it at first and I paid her off. And then you all put the video out. And now I had to go and double back and say, yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. I was in a low place, bad place. But yet he gets arrested a week ago and he's still using drugs. So now we know that he's a crackhead. Whatever his choice of drugs is, I don't care. Pill popper, meth, heroin, you're still a dope fiend. So we're talking about a sadist, a dope fiend, pedo, cheapo, don't want to pay people. Hey, he's versatile. Or shall I say versatile? He's a wacko. He's sick. So I don't see the point in wasting the state's money to even sit in a trial when you already know you've been found lying. So what is he getting ready to say on the witness stand, sir? As you have kindly enlightened us that this trial is about basically Cassie Ventura and her abuse. We can't even say alleged because we now have proof. So basically this trial is about what she went through with Sean Puffy Combs. And he's going to tell us on the witness stand, because I see where you're going with this. She's the only one bringing forward the allegations. So he's going to say, yeah, I lied. I paid her a lump sum. Well, sir, how much did you pay her? Well, I don't want to talk about that. Okay. Are we even going to hear the dollar amount that he paid her? Because people are going to be curious. I think 12 members of the jury are going to want to know, number one, why did you pay her? Why did you lie? And then why did you come out months later to say anything about the video? Have you been paying people off on the video? That's going to be asked as well. How many times did you make a payment? $50,000 once? Twice? Did the people keep coming back asking for money? Curious. Because what's that old saying, a closed mouth don't get fed? Because the average blackmailer would come back, would they not? As Gator would say, I'm a little light. 50 G's don't go very fast in Los Angeles. For those of you who know the price of rent and mortgages. And even in 2016, it was expensive to live in Los Angeles, California. So 50 G's is chump change in LA. I'm just saying. Buy your car, pay off a couple of bills, you're back broke. I got to find Puff Diddy. I need some more money to keep my mouth closed. Did it kind of go like that? So, Sean, did the person come back asking for money, saying, hey, I got that tape. I need another installment? Because I won't doubt that they probably did. You probably had somebody paying them off monthly until this nonsense jumped off. Who's to say? And I'm sure that person probably would testify, the person who took the money. Boy, that would be a hot butter mess, would it not? You're going to sit up here on a witness stand and try to explain why you were beating up your girlfriend. You're going to what? Tell us that, oh, there was another person in the room. She was jealous. They had a fight. Or maybe she just didn't want to engage in any more sex. And she said, I got to get the hell out of here. I got to go. It's really not going to matter why she left, is it? She's grown. She has the right to roam. She doesn't owe you anything. And we can really say that she really wasn't your girlfriend because you like to freaky deep with different people. So how was she special? She wasn't. That's the whole point. You're never special when a person wants to put their penis in other people's private areas, if you get my drift. How am I special and you want to put your penis inside of a man and a woman? I'm not special at all. And that's what's been said lately. She was just a trophy, something to do, something to carry around. An expensive trophy, may I say, because he took her around to public events. He had to doll her up, pay for her makeup, pay for her hair, pay for her clothes. Come on with it, Queen. So I say she was a very expensive trophy, but she wasn't respected, you see. She wasn't regarded. And that's usually the point, is it not? Can't say you love a person, you like a person, and you're putting your pee-pee in other places. Or you're going to say, I was conflicted. I did care for her, but I just didn't know how to treat her right. I like sex. I'm a highly sexual being. You're a sadist. There's a difference. Nothing wrong with liking sex. And there's some people who just can't get enough. I believe Dr. Phil once said, there's no such thing as a sex addict. Do you agree? I'm going to put that on a poll because I think some of you are going to disagree, because I think you can be an addict for many things. Gambling, food, liquor, shopping, sex. Why not? Because obviously he couldn't get enough. You need 4 or 5 partners at the same time. I say you do have a problem. We have left the realm of, as what they used to say in the street, I need a little strange. I like a little strange. As one young guy said to me last year, I like different women. He said, that's what he told his baby mama. I like different women. I don't want to be obligated. I don't want to be committed. And I can see that because he's a young guy, nice looking guy. But he told her the truth. I don't want to be committed to you or anybody. I like different women. I want to sample different women. And I can respect that. Because it's only worse if a person likes to sample the pond, but they don't want to tell the other, little ducks they like to be in the pond with different, ducks and geese. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where you would have a problem. And we have learned that sampling can get you in a whole lot of trouble. And that's why we have Sean in the predicament that he's in. Spreading that pee-pee around has got him in a whole lot of trouble. Plus his fists manhandling a woman. Coercion, blackmail, forced labor. Dirty sex, because this is dirty sex, is it not? I mean, I don't care what kind of sex you like. That's your business. You want to swing from the chandelier? You want to have sex upside down? That's your business. But you and your other little friend, R. Kelly, y'all done took sex to a whole new level. Because as one person has said to me recently, I don't want to have to take the cookie. Well, I looked at him and I said, well, baby, some men feel like they need to take the cookie. Experts say it's about power. I say it's about sex too, because there are many ways you can manipulate. Come on with it, Queen. Let me school you. Manipulation is mental. So you can manipulate a person without ever touching them, without having sex, without groping, without sexual assault. Because I think a lot of us have been manipulated and nobody touched us, nobody groomed us, nobody raped us. Oh, shit. You got to have game to have mental manipulation. And it's still mental naturally just trying to talk a person and having sex with others. Group sex, certain types of sex. Here, pop this pill. Here, snort this cocaine. Yeah, that's all mental. Make you feel good. Last I checked, I didn't need no cocaine to have sex. Shut your mouth. Because if the man got it going on, Queen don't need no pill. I said that. Now, Queen, why you do that? Because I can. I don't need no pill. I don't need no heroin. I don't need no meth. I don't need no Mickey. I don't need nothing. Because if he got it going on, the whole human body is all I need, if you get my drift. That's the point. See, the pill is to subdue, to do what you want, eyes shut. Victim can't fight back, can't rebuttal. I think most of you know that. So I'm going to say this again to the attorney. What is it that Sean is going to say on the witness stand about what he did to Cassie Ventura? And God forbid if any other allegations are allowed during the proceedings? Because the state is going to show what they found in his house, because that's a part of the indictment. So I say your client has a big problem. Let's get down to what was found at the house and why the lawyer wants to explain that. 1,000 bottles of lube. You can't explain it. You only speaking lightly of it because you know it doesn't make any logical sense for any one single human being who's not married to explain 1,000 bottles of lubricants, and you know damn well it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. If this was a spa or resort where they gave massages as a part of their care package, that would be different. Massage parlor / resort that gives massages. I can see 1,000 bottles of lubricants, but not one single man living in a mansion. Because as I said, the rooms don't have anything to do with the bottles. You're not using one whole bottle for a human body. You'd be slathered down. Using up one bottle just to put from head to toe. Come on now, let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop this nonsense. And as someone has said to me recently, and I hate to be descriptive, so forgive this description, but I had a gentleman say to me, the reason why he had the lubricants, Queen, is because it's used for anal sex. And I said, oh, I didn't know. I didn't even think about that. He said, yeah, it makes sense. He said, you would need some lubricant to go there, don't you think? And I thought about that. You have a damn good point. I guess you would need some lubricant to go back there in behind a man's tail if the man ain't used to going there, or depending on the size of the man. Not to be descriptive, but we all grown folks here. I guess it makes perfect sense. And due to the fact that he's been labeled a homosexual, it would make a whole lot of sense why Sean Puffy Combs would have 1,000 bottles, 500 bottles, 200 bottles of baby oil and lubricants. It's not because you want to keep yourself moisturized. It's because you're using it for sexual purposes. And naturally, if a man is well endowed, you might want to put a little lubricant on his private parts to even enter vaginally. I mean, because some of you got it going on like that. Just saying. Let's get down to business. Entertainment Tonight is the source of this next information. This is Mr. Combs' attorney speaking.
I can imagine thousands. I mean, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything. I can imagine it's thousands. I mean, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything. I don't know where the number 1,000 came from.
Hello, everybody.
More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case.
Diddy's case causing online chatter over the shocking discovery. The rapper's attorney telling all to TMZ as the outlet dives deep into the ongoing trial in their documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment, streaming on Tubi.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000 on. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for.
Yeah, it's the number of bottles going viral on social media.
Exactly.
With Diddy's longtime nemesis, 50 Cent, dropping this meme on X. Meanwhile, Diddy's
Diddy oil
offers this explanation.
I'm dead.
He has a big house. He buys in bulk. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in a parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
TMZ reached out to Costco. Their rep says none of their U.S. locations carry baby oil.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anymore. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I don't think it was a doubt. Let's just say it's a lie, okay?
Entertainment Tonight. TMZ is the source if you need verification. Please check out the documentary by TMZ on Tubi if you have the Tubi app. 50 Cent taking hot shots at him with a Diddy oil, reminiscent of Johnson & Johnson baby oils. Stop it, I'm drowning up here. Let's talk about the oil for one quick second. So, as you heard in the article I read you, the lawyer talks about the oil. He doesn't understand, why they're saying it's this amount, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what he's using it for? You also hear him saying it's to TMZ. Sir, are you going to just continue this nonsense? This woe is me, talking like you're a child. If you're going to behave like this, I don't think you need to be representing Sean. You need to stop this nonsense. Stop talking about, I don't know what you could use it for. One bottle could go a long way. I don't really know if it's 1,000 bottles. So you want us to sit here and believe somebody counted so many bottles and then said, well, let's just say it's 1,000 bottles and put it in an affidavit. Is that what you're saying? So now you're saying the government is lying about counting 1,000 bottles of lubricants. Yeah, I know he's playing stupid. Because let me tell you what more than likely happened, like what they've said before, it was in cases. And naturally, in a case, it's going to say how many number of items are in the case. Come on with it, Queen. That's why it makes more sense to say it's 1,000. Because it is going to be hard to sit here in your head and say, oh, they counted this much. But hey, they count money, don't they? When they seize drugs, they seize money from people. If it's 500,000, well, somebody counts it out. Get a money machine. So if it's cases, it's even easier to count. If they're all full, there's no room for where a bottle could be missing, and the case says 30, 150, then you multiply. Damn. Come on now, attorney, really? Just stop this nonsense. But there's pictures floating around and the bottle's lying out, so I don't know if that's an AI generated photograph. I don't really know, but I don't think the government is lying about how many bottles of lubricants were counted. Come on now, just stop this. And you just better hope that the government won't wheel in those 1,000 bottles. Now imagine that coming in on a radio flyer wagon. Now, Queen, you better stop this. I can't, because it's too damn funny. Imagine the state coming in with 1,000 bottles of baby oil just to prove this lawyer we ain't lying. I'll let that sit right there. Because that's the state's job, is to bring you what they found. So they're going to bring you pictures of the guns. They're going to bring you pictures of audio, video, whatever they found to lay out their case of whatever the woman is alleging he has done to her, Miss Cassie Ventura. So if there are sex toys, audio, video, they're going to probably show you pictures of where they took cameras down, hidden cameras. Come on now. And then you're going to argue all of that, right? Well, he's a famous person. He's wealthy. He has to guard his materials. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with filming people without their consent, sir. You don't have the right to be filming people engaged in sexual activity, taking a shower, using the restroom. That's their private business. And I won't doubt that Sean has done that. And we're also going to get to the elephant in the room, which I think many of you know what that is. We'll save her for last. What is all the evidence they have against Sean? What is all the evidence they have against him? Will we see or hear, because we won't see it, forcible essay of an individual persons by Sean or any other entities? Oh, by the way, his bodyguard is denied sexual assault in Miss Graves. And then I'm going to bring you content of another woman who also brings forth the same allegation. I think her name is Miss Dickerson. So we got at least 2 or 3 people saying the same thing. Or it's Dickerson or some other woman. We'll bring it to you. Of being Sean taking turns with his friends. He likes that group sex, I must admit. And I don't think that's a lie, because it's being said too many times. I mean, Little Rod said he woke up in the bed with Sean and 2 other sex workers. And I'm assuming those sex workers are men, not women. Because I was confused about that months back when that came out, or last year. I kept saying, well, which is it? Men or women? Which is it? Now we know that the sex workers are men. So that means, yeah, Sean likes men. Ding, 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 ding. Because he said, I woke up with him and 2 sex workers. Say it again, Quinn. I woke up with him and 2 sex workers. So we're going to assume that sex workers are men. I think he just didn't really want to say they men because he don't want nobody implying somebody went in his back door. Shut your mouth. Because that's a terrible thing to have to tell the public. Somebody has penetrated me anally, even with my eyes. Whoa. Lord have mercy. It's too early for a drink. So it's better to say I was penetrated while being drugged. See, that's the thing people don't really understand about a highly sexual being. Nothing is ever going to be good enough. I talk about this a lot with true crime. How far are we going to take this sadisticness, sadism? Now, Queen, you're making up words. Stop that. How far are we going to take this sadistic behavior? Because the only thing left besides torture, sexual assault, binding, gagging is murder. And I'm not here to say he's a murderer, but I'm trying to lay out a foundation to show you that when you are ill, how far are you willing to go to get a rush, to get a high? You see, it's stair steps. More than likely, Sean was probably a peeper. He probably was groomed as well as a child, teenager. He's probably groomed others as a child or teenager. He probably was engaging in sex early on as a young boy. He probably, as I said, was penetrated anally by a man or child, boy. Probably was assaulted even by a woman. Who's to say? So he got a penchant for sex early on. And that's where this behavior comes from. These children were engaged in sex. So now they are mimicking what was done to them. That's why child molesters, it's been proven, they were groomed. That's why they become groomers. So he probably had a high sex drive because that's where this is coming from, being groomed, being touched inappropriately. And this is why you have to go get help. When you realize I've got a problem, I can't get enough sex. I'm always wanting to have sex. I'm willing to do anything for sex. I'm willing to have sex with anybody. If that even means, engaging in pornography, animals, whatever it is, taking the cookie. You see where I'm going. I got a problem. But that's why these people keep walking the earth unfixed because they don't seek help. And I think Sean is like all other sadists. He didn't want no help. Because you begin to like that place you're in, if you get my drift. I like this place I'm in. I'm comfortable. Most people do become comfortable with devices, do they not? Why you think there were so many bottles of lubricant? He's real comfortable at this point. You're comfortable with raping. You're comfortable with filming. You're comfortable with coercion, blackmail, violence, beating up people, pulling them by the hair, blowing up cars. You're comfortable because you think you are the shit. Ego-driven, possibly. But the sadism still comes from somewhere, because if that's the case, we're going to say that about everybody wealthy and well off and in power, that they're sadistic. And I don't want to say that about everybody that's wealthy, because there are a lot of wealthy people here in America, abroad. Am I also supposed to say he or she is sadistic? They're evil. They like group sex. They like anal sex. They like sexual assaults on people. Come on now. That would be a cruel thing to say. Well, he's wealthy. He's a sadist. But we know that wealth, power, money can bring sex. Can it not? Of course it can. Girl, did you see him? Girl, he looking good. Girl, he got the money. Girl, he got the bag. Girl. Isn't that what we have said about wealthy men? He got the bag. So he got the bag he's willing to spend, allegedly. Oh, girl, you can get that money, girl. Girl, he got that money, girl. But see, there's a price to pay for the bag. I think most of us know that. There's a price for having the bag. There's a price for throwing your weight around with the bag. And there's a price for chasing the bag. Whether you are the one holding the bag or you want the money. And some will say, oh, these girls and women, they were going after him just like they was doing R. Kelly. Woo, 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 woo. It don't matter. Let me make that clear. It don't matter about somebody wanting a bag. It don't matter about somebody trying to get on the coattail and ride the coattail. It's what you will allow. Because what did I tell you about a closed door? You can't get in there unless somebody opens it. Say it again, Queen. So if there's a crack, or as we would say in church, a leak in this whole building, you didn't get in unless you was invited. Or you kicked the door in. Take your pick. So to allow somebody to ride on your coattail, that's on you. You extended an olive branch, that's on you. But nowhere in that circumstance should there be SA. Now that's totally different. You want to whisper something in a young lady's ear or a young man's ear. Hey, I like you. I'm digging you. I'm feeling you. You want to go back to the room. You want to come to my house. Can I come to your house? Okay, but where does you taking the cookie nookie? Hell no. I don't owe you that. And as my friend would say, where's the fun in it? Well, it's fun for the sadist. It's not fun for the victim. But I get the connotation. Where's the fun in taking the cookie? You just gonna take it from me? I say you'd want to be drugged and get the nookie took, then get your eyes wide open and get it took. Because now you're sitting here trying to fight off your attacker. And I don't think any of us want to go down that road. So imagine being attacked with your eyes open. And you're feeling everything. A nudge to the throat, to the eye, to the head, suffocating, all that, choked out. You don't want that. And that's not including the damage to your body parts by being forcibly penetrated. Especially when you're talking about the backside. You don't want to be woke for that. He's a sadist. And anybody that joined in with the gang rape, you nasty too. So, Mr. Sherman, you denying the allegations by Miss Graves that you gang assaulted her with Sean. It's going to be a mighty interesting thing if you on one of them tapes. So what you going to say? The white man got it wrong? That ain't me. Y'all know all black people look alike. No, we don't. That's a lie. Now, some people get black folks mixed up. But you better hope for your sake you are not on one of them tapes, bruh. You or anybody else that was riding along with Sean Puffy Combs. Because I say you're going to have a problem. And the fact that he's manufacturing porn, selling it, showing it, man, Sean is grabby. He's that guy you don't want to go along with in the dark. Because he coming out with lights, flashlights, camera lights. You sitting up here thinking you going to have an intimate moment with a man, and you looking up saying, what that camera doing up there? What the flashing lights? Oh, don't worry about it. Come on, girl. Oh, shut your mouth. Just nasty. And some women might be down with that being filmed. But I just said there's a price to pay. Do you really want people around town, the community, porn sites, seeing what you're doing sexually with a man and a woman and a whoever? I don't think so. Now, some people don't mind because you got porn sites where the people are sending in their own personal porn. And I really don't understand that. But I ain't that type of chick. So I can't understand. I don't want you looking at me have sex with a man. For what? You don't need to know if I got skills or no skills. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But now your face is there. Oohing and on, and everybody looking at you like, shit, I think I know her. Hell no. But to each his own. Will there be evidence of Sean Puffy Combs engaged in SA with women and men with other participants helping him sexually assault a victim or victims? Because if so, I don't really know what the hell you getting ready to say on a witness stand pertaining to Cassie Ventura, because you also would have to answer to something else if the judge allows that evidence to be allowed in court, sir. This is nasty. Eating jail food. A source says he is eating. The rumors are not true that he is not eating because he's worried about being poisoned. He is eating the jail fare. So who put out the rumor? That one guy who's been on News Nation and different programs, Court TV, Levine, talking about his experiences in prison. Well, that's your experience. You don't know what the hell's going on with Sean Puffy Combs. You're not in there with him, so you don't know what he's doing. He might as well eat. It's free. Probably going to be constipated, but hey, I'm sure you can find some ways to shut up, Angela. We'll let that sit right there. Vale Johnson, Family Matters, ex-dad. There are rumors were put out about him back in the spring by a comedian, Loose Cannon, stating that he caught Sean Puffy Combs engaging in sexual activity in a back room, these two men together. Well, Mr. Vale Johnson has come out to tell everybody to get a life. He doesn't know Sean Puffy Combs. He's never met the man before, and they've never had sexual relations. So, Mr. Loose Cannon, let the Queen talk to you for just a second, because I put a short up in the YouTube queue pertaining to this. Please go in the queue and check out my 15-second short. Sir, I got a feeling you were in the back room doing something you ain't had no business. Or shall I say you were doing something that you like to do, but you had to go put it off on somebody else, such as a character from a TV show. So maybe you saw a black man back there that favored Mr. Vale Johnson. Is that what we're talking about? Help me understand. I'm getting a little older, so just help Queen out. Did you see a man that resembled Mr. Vale? You saw a man that was bald-headed with big eyes that looked like him that was getting down back there in one of the rooms? Because I got a feeling maybe you were back there getting down. Shut your mouth. Because that's usually who tells the story, is it not? The person who was also getting it in. So maybe you need to talk about your own penis instead of talking about somebody else's. Checkmate. Because like somebody said in one of the shorts, videos about this debacle, what you doing kicking down somebody's door anyway in a private home where you hear moaning and groaning? Well, when did we start doing that? You only kick down doors if somebody's sleeping in your house having sex. Checkmate. Say it again, Queen. I'm not walking in somebody's house to go use the restroom or wherever the hell I'm walking around looking for. Say it again. What you say, Queen? Looking for. Say it again, Queen. Looking for. Right. Looking for. Ding, ding, ding. What were you looking for, Mr. Cannon? You probably were back there looking for some ding, ding your damn self. All I know, you was in the room getting your trade off, trade in. Oh, I said that. What's that old saying? Beware of the messenger. Oh, yes. Because I got a feeling the messenger was getting his backside lubricated. Checkmate. The hell were you doing up in there? Listen, man, I sound like somebody's grandmama. What the hell were you doing up in there, boy? Getting lubricated. And then want to come out like a snitch, dirty rat, talk about what the hell another grown man was doing with another grown man. You were there? Oh, we got to get street now. We got to get gangster with it now. You can't talk about what's going on in the pot, and you were in the pot yourself. That's called affiliation, last I checked. You in the pot, but you want to talk about other people in the pot, but you don't want to excuse yourself from the pot. Is that what you're saying? Because you put yourself there. I kicked in the door. So what's going on in here? Two grown men having sex, allegedly. And then you got the nerve to put a name on the sex. Who does that? Oh, that's a nasty business, sir. Because now Mr. Vale can sue you for defamation. So all them little coins you making from standing on stage, lying and making up shit about folks, he can sue you and he has every right because he going to tell you, bring a receipt that I was having sex with Sean Puffy Combs in the back room. You need your ass whooped. Now you doing some old dirty shit. As we say in the street, kissing and telling. Because I got a feeling you was back there doing stuff yourself. So whether Mr. Vale Johnson was in the back room handling business with a grown man, the point is, what were you doing back there to signify? Say that, Queen. What were you doing walking through somebody's corridors? Ooh, I like that word. That's what you say for people with big rooms. Big houses, big rooms. Long doorways, as Lil Wayne would say. Long hallways. What are you doing with your no rent paying ass walking through a grown man's house, a mansion at that, pushing indoors. Oh, wait. I kicked the door in. I heard some people moaning. Oh, you wanted to see what was going on. You wanted to see or you wanted to join in? Checkmate. There you have it. Loose cannon or whatever the hell your government name is, I think you owe Mr. Johnson an apology because you all circulating these dirty rumors on social media, YouTube, and it's really time for everybody to stop. And as Mr. Law and Crime commentator has said, most of the rumors circulating about all these people pertaining to who's having sex, ain't having sex is rumors pertaining to Meek Mill, this person, that person. You got to bring a receipt. Because really, when you look at it, he has a point. All the shit you've been hearing about Sean Puffy Combs with famous people have been rumors. No receipt. There's a difference. Bring a receipt. And if you bring a receipt, it's just a matter of, okay, somebody famous had sex with a famous person. Just so happened to be two men. Meek Mill, let me touch on him for just a second. Why do you need to offer $100,000 to who put your name in the gossip pertaining to you having sex with Sean Puffy Combs? Lil Rod is implying that possibly it's you. Your name has not been mentioned for obvious reasons. It's, legalities. But it puts it in the frame of Nicki Minaj, famous rapper, blah, blah, blah. So the insinuation is that it's you. That means if it's true, you're going to deny it, of course. That means your friend Puffy told Lil Rod you two got down. And why would a man, come on with it, Queen. Woo! Shut your mouth. Why would a man tell another man he had sex with another man? I'm going to let that sit right there. Stay woke. It's called evenly yoked. You see, it'd be no different than a woman telling another woman she had sex with a woman. I'm telling you because I'm trying to see what you about, what you about. And that's a form of grooming too. R. Kelly did it best, did he not? Allegedly, he's sitting in a room letting a man perform oral sex, and then he invites one of the little sugar mamas in the room. It's to get a reaction. Say it again, Queen. It's to get a reaction, you see. I'm going to sit right here with this man with his head between my legs, and then I'm going to let you come in, and I want to see what you're going to say. Oh, that's nasty. What y'all doing? If you don't say nothing, then I know you're probably down with what I'm doing. And you'll probably join in with what I'm doing. And now you know my little deep, little dirty secret of what I've been doing. Checkmate. It's called bait and switch. He was baiting her. Let her come in. She now knows I like men. I want to see what she gonna say. That way I know she down with me being a homosexual. I'll be damn, that's deep. Instead of just telling her, hey, I like men too. But see, she was a child. So she didn't have no business being there in the room messing around with R. Kelly either. And then we got allegations of that too. Him trafficking young girls underage, having sex with them, group sex, gang rape, all that type of stuff. Sean, whew, you just nasty, dude. You don't stipulate. And that is the most dangerous person. As somebody on the channel said in the comment section this morning, he has no boundaries. So I won't doubt he would cross over and or has essayed his own children. And that's the elephant in the room, if you're wondering the title of the video. The elephant in the room is the obvious. Okay? Meek Mill, did you mess around with Sean Puffy Combs and you're now trying to do damage control by saying, I'm offering $100,000 to anybody that can bring me information of who put out the rumor and started the rumor that I've been with Sean. Why you need to pay, baby? And then in one of your statements, you put LOL. See, that lets me know you're silly and you're still childish. I've been kind of peeping you and watching your demeanor. There's something not right with you. I don't know what it is. It's off-putting. I'm going to say off-putting. I don't know if you're just a fragile type of black man, but it's something about your demeanor is off to me because it don't seem like you stand firm in your manlyhood. Because the average black man, white man too, would have got crunk soon as somebody put the rumor out, they done messed around with another man. Your commentary on IG, to me, was too fluffy for a secure black man. Most men would have went crunk. What the fuck you talking about? I ain't fuck no man. It would have been some NIGGA calling. It would have been ugly. You didn't go that route. Now some will say, well, he ain't that type of guy. Okay, cool. Look, I'm throwing my hands up. Don't shoot. But I'm just saying the response was off to me. I was expecting a black brother to get crunk. Oh, I got to find this Negro. It's on. Hell, you putting out me and you had sex. And that's what's so interesting about all these men who are rumored to have been groomed and or touched by Sean Combs. Ain't nobody that got crunk. He wasn't even supposed to make it to an indictment. Checkmate. Come on with it, Queen. They don't hear you. We got to take this to the street. Kind of like all that rap beefing about absolutely nothing. Who's the toughest? Who's the baddest? Who ain't really street? Who ain't really capped nobody? Who ain't really did this? Same game. You call me a punk? Oh, hell no. Hell, even if I am a punk, I don't want nobody knowing. I got to handle you. So some people be like, y'all letting this punk run around insinuating that he done been with you and you letting him breathe? Now, I'm not provoking violence, but we gonna keep it gangster. Because ain't this what we own? Some gangster punk shit? I said that. And he right in the place where that bump and tail go on, jail. And that all men don't get down with pump and tail when they in jail, but I'm just saying, it goes on. So really, he where he want to be. Damn, Queen, did you just say that? I did. He where he want to be. Because him like men. Because the vice always weighs higher. As somebody said the other day, it ain't about no bisexual. Woo, they had to check me on that. It ain't about being bisexual. That's a full-blown homosexual man. He's using a female as a prop because he hates women. Woo, that's deep. Him don't like girls. They're props. Like little blow-up dolls. Something to swing around, throw around, because I really don't like women. And I'm hiding behind a woman, beating her up, sodomizing her, abusing her, filming her, because I really like men. But I can't come out as a homosexual. So I got to hide behind pretty hair, pretty skin, eyelashes, because I don't want nobody knowing the truth that I am a homosexual. I've always been a homosexual. But I can't let the world know that. So I got to have the freak-offs to excuse the homosexuality. I got to let other people join in so they can hold that secret, carry that burden. Woo, Queen, you're going deep now. I got to have an eyewitness, but I'm going to hold you to it now. I got to hold you to it because I got to have collateral. Woo, Lord have mercy. I should have been a preacher. I got to hold you to it. Because I need somebody to hold that sin with me. Damn. Come on, Queen, preach. I got to have somebody hold that sin with me. Because that's usually how it is, ain't it? When shit feels so good to you, you want to share it with somebody. Shut your mouth. You want to yell it from the mountaintop. But this ain't the kind of thing that you can just go out and say, oh, I like men and I like women and I like kinky sex and I like this type of sex. I like filming it. I like putting pressure illegally on people to have sex. That's my dirty secret. That's why I film it. That's why I do it. But I need people to participate so I can get off. And then I got to blackmail them later. Well, I'll be damned. Now, this is where we would use the word parlaying. Now, some of you going to say, now, Queen, what the hell that mean? Look it up. He's parlaying these people. So parlaying ain't really just about the dope game. Parlaying is just what it is. It's parlaying. I'm going to do this to get this, to do this, to swap, and then collateral. He wanted people to know he is gay. He wanted to share the secret, but he was sharing it in a different manner, if you understand where I'm coming from. I can't just come out and say I'm a punk, but I got to do it my way. And that's where coercion, blackmail, forced sex, forced labor, not paying the prostitutes, that's his way of power, control, manipulation, and also getting off sexually. Damn, that's deep. Now that's a hustle within a hustle in sadism. It's grooming at its finest, quite frankly. I got the picture. I got the video. Now what you gonna do about it? What's sad is if Cassie hadn't said anything, these other women would have never came forward. And everybody would have been walking around carrying a 30-year-old secret of a black man that's homosexual and likes to force himself on people, tape people, film people, spread porn around, blackmail them, coercion, beat them up, shoot them. Y'all allowed that shit. Because you never went to authorities to say, hey, that man raped me. Hey, that man drugged me. You should have went day one. When you realized something wasn't wrong with your body parts, when you realized you were groggy for no damn reason, you should have went and filed a report. Nobody give a damn about him being no Sean Puppy Combs because he ain't nobody right now. Checkmate. He's just a black man locked up in federal holding in Brooklyn, New York. He ain't nothing but a number. And that's what you need to understand about man. Because God told you that anyway, did he not, if you believe in the scripture? You ain't supposed to be idolizing nobody, no way. You ain't supposed to be putting nobody up on no pedestal. And what did he tell you in the scripture? You will surely be disappointed if you put your faith in man. Yeah, I'm going to take you to church this morning because I needed my damn self. You will surely be disappointed. That's why you have to lean on faith. Because you're not supposed to put faith in man or woman because you will be surely disappointed. That's facts. That ain't no assertion. That's not no assumption. He gonna disappoint you because he's of the flesh. And that's what you have with Sean Puffy Combs. He's of the flesh. He's nothing more. He's nothing less. He's a man with a penis. That's it. Ain't shit special about Sean Puffy Combs. And he now knows that. He has finally been put in his place. A fucking holding cell with an ID number. And it's a shame he had to go in the belly of the beast to be brought down to earth to show him your shit does stink. And you are no better than anybody else. You could have been an openly gay man doing your thing, jumping around on stage with a microphone, but you chose not to take that route because you knew what people would think of a gay man in the industry, in the rap game. It's a no-no. Although many people participate in homosexuality, bisexuality, they don't want it out because they know what people are going to say. Although many people have come out of the closet and showing their truth, you are still not in that place because you know it don't look manly. And you want to portray yourself as a full man, but you're not. So basically, you've been lying to the world. You've been lying to yourself. That's why you do all this, as they say, hedonistic behavior. You mad at Sean. Oh, damn, Queen, you're going deep now. Isn't that what this really has been about, sir? You mad at yourself. You're really mad because you can't tell the world that you're homosexual. That's what you're mad about. All this filming, coercion, blackmail, beating up people, dragging people, cursing people, name calling, fighting, shooting, is that you are mad at a little boy named Sean that's insecure. Because that's where this type of behavior comes from. All this violence and shit, wanting to beat up people, that comes from somebody insecure. So you have never came to terms with yourself. So you've been hiding behind this image that you have fluffed up, or as some people want to say, Hollywood, the music industry put on you, made you to be. In the end, you are the captain of your ship, and you chose to go down into the abyss. Didn't nobody tell you to take your ass down now? That's on you. Let's hear the allegations pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. And the elephant in the room is the obvious. Why you all ain't talking about the fact this man has children and he's trafficked children for sex and gang rape? Because what did I tell you? One thing begets another. As one commenter said this morning, he don't got no respect. He don't got no boundaries. So if he can do all these things to people, he would be the same person to molest his own children. Checkmate. You all better stay woke. Because you don't wake up a pedophile and a rapist overnight. You have been groomed. Somebody has groomed Sean Combs. Who is that person? Is he a made sadist or he was born a sadist? We're going to chop all that up in the polls after this commentary from Law and Crime. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Let's hear what they have to say pertaining to the 47 shocking allegations against Sean Puffy Combs. Thank you for your time.
Do you think that was a big reason why the feds executed those search warrants back in March?
Absolutely, because they had to seize all of that evidence to be able to use it at trial later on down the line. So they now had specific things they were looking for, because remember, a search warrant can't just be a fishing expedition. You have to be able to detail in the warrant what you're expecting to find or what you are seeking. And so with Little Rod's lawsuit, the feds were able to be like, okay, we're looking for video. We're looking for surveillance video that may have been located in this particular room. We're looking for a particular time frame when these incidences occurred. So what evidence can we find that substantiates what occurred during that time frame while we're looking through the house? So it all came together to be able to give the feds the information they needed to be able to do these searches effectively, follow the trail of evidence, and then lead to the indictment.
You know, all roads kind of lead back to these civil suits, because obviously now we have the criminal side of things, which you talked about, and that's going to be something we'll follow closely. But the civil side is kind of what paved the way. And I'm wondering now that Diddy is in custody, what's going to happen to these civil suits? Are they stalled? What would that look like?
What generally happens is that the civil attorneys will sort of wait and see what happens in the criminal case, because so much of the evidence that comes out of the criminal case could be a treasure trove for the civil lawsuit. So, for instance, if Diddy were to get on the stand and testify, which I highly doubt he would, if he were to get on the stand and testify, his testimony can be admissible in the civil lawsuit, especially if he gives conflicting statements. He can be what we call impeached, or basically, to use the colloquialism, basically called out like, hey, you said this on this date. Now at the criminal trial, now at the civil trial, you're saying something different, which is the truth. That's sort of.
So, very good point pertaining to testimony. This is why I said there was no point in him testifying on his own behalf, because he has already been proven a liar. And someone in the chat is saying that his mother was a street lady. If these allegations are true, that she brought men home for money or just leisure, her son saw this behavior and it became acceptable. Doesn't mean he had to like it. He's a child. He don't have to like anything. But he had no control if these allegations are true. So therefore, he was subjected to sex early on. Don't know the age, don't know the circumstances. But if you are bringing people in your house and your children are seeing different men and women coming in your house, whether you are prostituting or not, the point is their eyes are open. And that would show why a man would definitely not have respect for women. because he doesn't respect his mother, number one. And that is where self-loathing comes in. And if you've ever followed true crime pertaining to rapists and serial killers, most of those men did not have a good relationship with their mother. Bingo card. So thank you for saying that. He don't like his mama. Oh, wow. He don't like his mama if these allegations are true. See, I have now decided to have a new terminology for chameleons. It's called painting the peacock. Now you all gonna say, now Queen, what does that mean? You know exactly what it means. Painting the peacock. Just dolling up what is tainted. Putting on eyelashes, hair weave, mascara, nose job, tweaking up eyebrows, Botox, lipstick, plumping up lips, Gucci slippers, Gucci outfit, painting the peacock. That's what you have in this world. Painting the peacock. It's the peacock effect. Everybody walking around G'd up, but they fucked up. Woo! Have mercy. Come on with it, Queen. Everybody walking around with Maybelline, CoverGirl, eyelashes, eyeliner, contour powder, blush, lipstick, fake moles, tattoos, painting the peacock. Painting over something that's fucked up, tainted. We all do it. Do we not? Walking around flashy, Gucci down. Imitation or real, but you flawed. Gucci down, but you're miserable as hell. Gucci down, but you got a lot of vices. Painting the peacock. So more than likely, he's been painting his mama. She's the grand poobah of the peacocks. Because indeed, if he don't really have this love for her, he's only been painting it up with the mascara, fake contact lenses and shit she be wearing. It's self-evident. I'm dialing up this motherfucker who got me like this in the first place. Woo! Come on with it, Queen. She's the grand poobah of my nonsense. Why I hate women. Like I said, if the allegations are true that mama was free with the kitty cat, her business. But what did I tell you? You don't know people. Because his behavior comes from somewhere. Everybody knows this when it comes to sadism. Sadism comes from somewhere. He as a child saw pornography, sex, sexual situations, touched, groomed. It comes from somewhere. And when you talk to most groomers, sadists, men who have a high potential for sex, desire sex, same thing with women, because women, they're not exempt. More than likely, they were touched inappropriately. They were in a house with people who had sex, open sex, slept in beds with people who were having sex with them. And let me say that to some of you nasty ass parents out there. I'm gonna check everybody now. Stop having sex in the bed with your children, please. Your child should not be in the bed with you while you're engaging in sexual activity. I don't give a fuck if it's your child, he the daddy. Don't do that. Don't do that. No child should be in the same bed with their mama while her mama's having sex with a man. And you thinking it's no big deal because they're a toddler or they're 5 or 6 years old. They can hear. They can see. Somebody got to check you on that. You need help. Don't ever do that. Because you'll fuck around and end up a Jen Soto case if you get my drift. Don't ever have sex in the bed with your children. Don't have your children sleeping in the same room that they can hear and understand and comprehend. Nobody needs to be walking around naked in front of children. Men don't have no business walking around naked in front of children. And women, you need to be careful about walking naked in front of your children as well. You don't think it's a big deal, but you don't know the mindset of a child because his or her personality and disposition is formed as a child. Don't make me go Dr. Phil on you. Come on now. Let's stop these games.
P. Diddy behind bars and indicted on federal sex trafficking and racketeering allegations. But those aren't the only accusations Diddy's facing. In fact, there are dozens of allegations dating as far back as the 90s. We're breaking down all 47 shocking allegations against P. Diddy and what all this could mean for the future of his case. I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime News. Sean Diddy Combs has now been behind bars for 1 week after he was indicted by a federal grand jury on some pretty serious charges. And with this major development in the case comes a renewed interest in the many allegations against the now disgraced rapper. So let's start with the federal indictment. That lists nearly 20 allegations against Diddy in support of the charges he faces: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. From the jump on page 1, prosecutors come out swinging, alleging Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The indictment goes on to allege Diddy showed a pattern of abuse, mostly against women, that included verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, including the use of extensive grooming tactics. So let's break these down a bit. Of the physical abuse, Diddy is accused of throwing, punching, kicking, and dragging some of his victims. We saw proof of that this spring when CNN released the infamous hotel video showing Diddy brutally assault his then-girlfriend Cassie in a hotel hallway. That incident isn't blatantly referenced in the federal indictment, and neither are any names. So we'll get to the specifics on that when we take a look at the civil suits against Diddy. But the indictment does allege that Diddy hit his victims for days at a time to recover from the injuries he inflicted without being publicly observed. Federal prosecutors allege Diddy intimidated these victims into...
Well, I'm going to stop right there. Is that true? Because I saw a video the other day that somebody has put out pertaining to Cassie, since she's the catalyst of this indictment, and they're showing a day later she was doing a live interview. So if she's alleging that she hid for days so people couldn't see her abuse, then what are they talking about? She did a live interview or commentary 1 day after the hotel incident. What is the truth? Because that's going to conflict what this indictment is saying. Just saying. But I saw this the other day. Somebody's alleging she did an interview with somebody. So was she wearing heavy makeup? Because I couldn't tell that I saw any bruising or black eye or whatever. Because the defense will find that video if she did an interview. And they'll say, well, in this interview, you can't see that she was beat up, hurt, punched. You get my drift. So what's the timeline on that video of her doing an interview 1 day after the hotel incident?
Orbit, and then forced them to participate in something he called freak-offs. These freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. So during these sessions, Diddy would force victims to use drugs, have sex with prostitutes, and be recorded doing all this, sometimes without their knowledge. Diddy also allegedly forced victims to carry illegal firearms, often through coercion and the assistance of his associates working for the Combs enterprise. Not only would these associates help suppress the victims, but they also arranged the freak-offs by booking hotel rooms and stocking the rooms with required freak-off necessities like baby oil or personal lubricant. These associates would also procure sex workers and IVs that were given to both Combs and the victims after these freak-off sessions to help them recover from the physical exertion and drug use.
So who was administering the IVs? Because you'd have to have some type of nursing training or phlebotomist training to administer an IV. An IV is not a pill, to my understanding. An IV is just what it is, an IV, intravenous. It's not a pill. So who had knowledge in administering an IV to anyone's arm to administer fluids? This is wicked. This is really wicked. What'd be worse is to see a random person putting an IV in your fucking arm and they don't have any training in putting a needle in your arm. This is ridiculous to me. Do they have proof of this on video? United States government. Do they have proof of IVs being administered by someone, two others, even Sean Puffy Combs? What is on the videotapes? How many tapes? Who's on them? Can the people be verified? Drug use, drug selling, forced labor, locking people in rooms, not letting them go, pinning them down, touching, binding, what? Gagging, what? What do the tapes reveal? This is bad.
Part of all this, Diddy and his associates transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and international. Okay, I know you're multitasking when you're watching our videos, and if you're out running errands, listen up. I have to.
She's sitting here doing advertising.
Raped her in New York, but way back in 1990. Gardner's lost.
Hold on.
It's in Michigan.
Go back a little.
Of transporting survivor Jane Doe across state lines when he flew her from Michigan to New York in 2003. Jane Doe filed civil suit against Diddy in fall 2023, alleging that 20 years prior, he raped her when she was only 17. According to Jane Doe's suit, she met one of Diddy's associates in Michigan and was flown on Diddy's private jet to his studio in New York. Jane Doe also provided pictures of her with Diddy in the studio, bolstering her accusations. Once there, Diddy allegedly drugged Jane Doe and forced her to drink alcohol. After that, he allegedly raped her before sending her back to the Midwest. It's a similar...
So this Jane Doe was underage, 17. So did they pick her up and take her to New York deliberately to rape her? This is so crazy to me because you can pick anybody up off the street to sexually assault and fly in or bring in. You don't even have to fly them in. There's many of women that were in New York. So this is strange to me. So who's the associate? What was his relationship with this young girl at 17? Were they dating? How old was he? Was he older than her? Was he of age? Because naturally, you know, every state has different laws pertaining to consent. So was 17 an age of consent for sex in the state of Michigan? What's the age of consent at that time in New York? The age of consent. Because like I said, every state has a different age of consent. But some states will say she's still a minor. And this is where the trafficking comes in, going across state lines with a child for prostitution, for sex. It is what it is. Why are you flying a 17-year-old from Michigan to New York, Sean Puffy Combs? You offered her alcohol. Did you put something in the drink? Was she known to be a drinker? Why didn't she go file a report that she was drugged and or assaulted by Sean Puffy Combs? So let me guess, did the friend also join in with the sex? See, there's too many people claiming the same type of story. That's where we have a problem. And she's got the pictures to show. Puff Diddy, PD on the wall, liquor in the background, studio equipment. She's sitting in his lap. She got the pictures. So you can't say you never met her. You can't say you didn't know her because she's sitting in your lap. The first thing somebody's going to say is, well, we can prove she was 17 at this time. So what is she doing, number one, in New York, and she lives in Michigan? How did she get to New York? Bingo card. Stay woke. So what are you saying? The father molested him at 3, before 3? What are you saying?
Story from Liza Gardner, who also filed civil suit last fall. She alleges Diddy also raped her in New York, but way back in 1990. Gardner's lawsuit alleges she and a friend met Diddy at a party And then at an after party, he gave her alcohol. He then allegedly raped her before another man also raped her. During all this, both men allegedly also raped Gardner's friend. A couple days later.
So now we have two women being assaulted at the same time in New York, going to a party. After party, he gave them alcohol. Was there drugs put in the alcohol? Two guys taking turns with two friends. It's nasty business. Who was the friend? Because we now have allegations that one of his bodyguards also participated in the same type of behavior, nasty behavior, with a Miss Thalia Graves, who Gloria Allred did a press conference with at the beginning of this week.
Combs came to the home where Liza Gardner and her friend were staying. He was irate and began assaulting and choking Liza Gardner to the point that she passed out. That brings us to the next allegation that has stark similarities to Liza Gardner's. Joy Dickerson Neal alleges Diddy raped her in 1991, also in New York. Echoing what prosecutors would write in a federal indictment against Diddy, Dickerson Neal alleges Diddy recorded this sexual assault. Her lawsuit also argues that she's the victim of revenge porn, as Diddy showed this recording to multiple people without her consent.
So now we have Dickerson going back in the 90s claiming the same thing that Thalia Graves said he did to her in 2001, 2003, somewhere in there. So we now have two different people claiming the same type of behavior, filming, sexing, drug, and alcohol, and then showing around. So that's production of pornography, which is against the law. Filming against the law. Sexual assault against the law. Because you're now filming a crime. You don't do that. 1 second, everybody. 1 second. Sorry about that, everybody. Had to take a brief phone call. As I said before, too many people with the same allegations, women, of being given alcohol and sexually assaulted by more than one party are in cahoots with Sean Puffy Combs. And this is not good, because what's going to be baffling, no matter the time frame of these allegations, 90s, 2000, if the videos can prove the same type of behavior, that's where he's going to have a problem.
All three of these civil lawsuits were filed last November under the New York Survivors Act. And so too was a bombshell civil suit filed by Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who's also known as the singer Cassie. It was with Cassie's lawsuit that we first heard in-depth accusations about Diddy's alleged illegal activity. To start, there's the gun allegation that on at least 2 occasions, Diddy demanded Cassie hold his gun in her purse. The lawsuit goes on to state, quote, "There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous." Beyond the
2 occasions, holding a gun. So this goes back to the Jennifer Lopez scenario at the nightclub where there was a shooting. A black girl said she was shot in the face, and she points out Sean Puffy Combs as the shooter, perpetrator. Nothing was ever done. He got off on that charge. Sean took the rap, probably out of loyalty. We also have information about that. Sean now speaking that he's ruined his life. He was deported back to South America, and he's been living there ever since. He did his time and deported back as a non-citizen, I guess. Why take the rap? Because you don't want to look like what? A rat? But my thing is, they say a rat is only applied to, or snitching is only applied to if you're in cahoots with the conspiracy. That makes sense, because a lot of people like to call people rats. Well, you're snitching, you're telling on people. Well, the new consensus is you're only a rat if you're involved in the crime. So how am I involved if you pull a gun out and start shooting? That's you. That's your choice. But he probably told him, you're younger, take the rap. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. And he probably did take care of him while he was incarcerated. But you can best believe when he got deported, Sean was done with him. Water under the bridge. So we have the same synopsis with J-Lo and the gun. People are alleging she brought the gun in, allegedly. Because you got to ask yourself that. How'd the gun get in the club? But we know back in the day, they didn't do high-top security and batons and wands to wave up and down your persons to see if you have a weapon. So anybody could have walked in with a gun, held in a pocket, in the drawers, whatever. But did she carry the gun in for Sean Puffy Combs, J-Lo? Now, fast forward. Cassie, you had to have heard the story about J-Lo and him and that shooting. Why would you be going in with a gun in your purse? Why? You can see this girl was easily coerced, gullible. She was ripe for the grooming. Oh, I'm with this mega star. He likes me. He's interested in me. But she was just a prop. She was just a pretty prop. That's all. He's a user. He's a manipulator. Because let's keep it real. No matter who she is, what she looks like, what her credentials are, she didn't mean anything to him. Because he had no respect for her. You don't treat people in this manner and say, oh, I love you. I care about you. I've got your best interests at heart. As somebody was saying the other day, he used Cassie. He did an R. Kelly move. He had no intention of trying to help her get famous, record music, get a record deal, album. It was all for sex control. A puppet. He's the puppeteer. She was the puppet. As you see in this Law and Crime commentary, there's pictures of them on the red carpet, dressed up to the nines. But all along, she's sitting here having sex with sex workers and different people. They're passing fluids and God knows what else, diseases. There was never love because Sean doesn't love himself. And that's what you need to understand about being mistreated by somebody. Whenever that person is showing you what they're made of, as Maya Angelou would say, believe them when they show you who they are. He don't love himself. There's no way you can say you love yourself and you sit out here doing this type of dirty ass shit behind closed doors. Some will even say just sleeping around with different people. You don't care about yourself. You don't love yourself. You're entitled to your opinion. Some can just say, well, I like sex. I like getting it on. Don't mean I don't care for myself. Don't love myself. Everybody's entitled to his or her own interpretation. But you're abusing the people, forcing them, drugging them. You don't care about them. And that is a sign you don't care about yourself. That's the truth.
On allegations, Cassie put forth some other major accusations in her 35-page lawsuit. She says Diddy beat her, sometimes so severely that she had to hide out in hotels for days at a time, waiting for the bruises to heal. Cassie also alleged Diddy raped her and forced her to have sex with prostitutes and even recorded this. Then there's the allegation.
So now we got to ask ourselves this. Why would a woman allow a person to, number one, introduce other parties into their orbit of sex? That's a private thing, having sex with another human being. Whether you like men, like women, like both, that is your prerogative. But some are going to question that. Why would she allow this behavior to go on for 7 years or so when you were not happy doing it? See, there's a difference between I want to get down with other partners. I want to get down with the foursomes or whatever. But if I know I don't like women, why am I sleeping with a woman? Number one. Number two, why am I sleeping with a strange ass man? I don't want to do that. I'm going to let you know. I'm not with that. And most men, they're going to ask you that in the beginning. They ain't getting ready to get naked and then some guy's going to pop out the damn closet without no damn clothes on. No, he going to ask you that. Or he going to tell you, hey, I like two women. I like two men. I like, well, whatever. And then he's waiting to see what you're going to say. It's bait and switch. I won't doubt. Sean told her what his preferences are. And she did, just like that young girl did, Geronda, that messed around with R. Kelly, rode the ride. Well, he's in control. He like men. Oh, well, I'll accept it, even though I don't like it. I'm attracted to him, but I don't like the fact he's a homosexual. I'm going to ride the ride anyway. So now we got to ask ourselves, in these sexual escapades, did Cassie witness him having sex with men? Because this is where it gets deep. You are not going along with sleeping with sex workers, men, but are you also watching him have sex with the men? Because he's watching the men have sex with Cassie. We heard that one guy, Mr. Oddie, say this in an interrogation with Miami authorities when he shot up the Donald Trump resort lobby, hotel lobby. Why he went off on this tangent about Rick Ross and P. Diddy and being a sex slave, don't ask. I think there's some truth to it. But the point is, he admits to being a sex slave. That guy mentions he also got herpes from these two. So what I want to know is, how many people actually have diseases that it's the same? Because that's going to be your proof right there. If everybody can come back and say they got the same venereal disease, because this is what people are going to say. All these people admit to having sex with each other. What are the odds they all carrying the same disease? Come on now. I won't doubt that some of these people also are HIV positive or have full-blown AIDS. I won't doubt that some of them are being treated for HIV. Say, well, who's going to tell that? Nobody. Will one of them come forward and say, yeah, I'm HIV positive? Yes, I think I got it from being locked in with these people sexually. Is Sean Puffy Combs HIV positive? Is Cassie HIV positive? Now you know Cassie, she's with another man. Stay woke, everybody. Then you got to think of all the people that Sean has slept with. And this type of man is not the type of man that's going to use a condom. Hell no. And ain't no way I believe when they was all doing these sex escapades, everybody reaching for a condom. Who? Most men today don't want to wear a condom. Still don't want to wear one. Why not? They don't want to wear them. So you want me to believe all these people having sex with each other in a room and somebody sitting here saying, wait a minute, I need a condom? Hell no. Why did Cassie go along with these sex workers? Why was she also allow herself to even be engaged watching him have sex with a man? Because I got a feeling she was watching him with men as well.
Diddy got jealous when Cassie began flirting with rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. Cassie says that in 2012, Diddy told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. The allegations brought forth in Cassie's lawsuit were shocking, and so too were the accusations brought months later. And yet,
well, did she tell Kid Cudi that Sean made threats about blowing up his car? See, this is what makes no sense right here. I'm not going to sit here and let this man tell me he's going to blow up a man's car and I don't warn that guy. So did she ever tell that guy, hey, he knows about us, he thinks we're messing around, whatever the situation is or was, and did the guy take precautions? Obviously, he didn't because his car blew up. So is there some truth to these allegations? Sean told her these things, and Sean exacted the crime of blowing up the car. This is ridiculous.
another civil suit filed by Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod. He began working with Diddy in 2022 on the Love album, and soon, he alleges, the abuse began. Lil Rod accuses Diddy of sexual assault, writing he was, quote, the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs.
Let's stop right there. It is one thing to be a child sexually assaulted. You don't have no control over that because you're a child. But we're talking about grown people. Now, you don't have any control of taking a drink and you didn't know it was laced with something and somebody sexually assaults you, film you, so on and so forth. You don't have no control over that. This is why you have to watch your cup. You have to watch people make your drink. Somebody tell you they're going to make your drink, you walk right over there with them. Well, I watch. I don't give a damn about the good attitude. But we know that people go in kitchens and behind a bar and you ain't paying attention. Your back is turned. You're trusting them to do right by you. Of course. But we don't live in that type of time. And as you can see, these allegations go back 30 years. He's been a menace. I said that. He's been a menace. He was a menace really before his name got in bright lights, just nobody knew. I have a problem with Lil Rod because you're a grown-ass man. When you saw this man touching you and groping you, you supposed to have been going toe-to-toe with him. You may be a short guy, but you should have let Sean have it. Hey, homeboy, I ain't with that. So you can't explain this logically to somebody. You stayed in this man's house for a year, working with him as a producer, whatever, and he's groping you. So now we got to ask the question, when did Sean start groping you allegedly? Day 1, day 2, month 5, month 3, what? On several occasions, when Mr. Combs began to undress and walk around his house naked, KK would say, okay, I am leaving now. And she would disappear. KK's hypocrisy is breathtaking at best or enabling at worst. Number 61. Mr. Jones believes that KK aided and abetted Mr. Combs' sexual assault of him and was working with Mr. Combs to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. So who is KK? Man or woman? Assistant? Lover? Who is this KK person that Lil Rod is speaking of in this affidavit? 59 through 62. Who is KK? Who is KK to Sean Puffy Combs? Had Sean Puffy Combs spoke to the KK and asked for them to be quiet, offered money to silence them? Will KK be testifying in court? Stay woke. So KK is telling Lil Rod, I guess, well, I'm leaving now since Sean is walking around naked. And they're saying KK's hypocrisy is breathtaking at best or enabling at worst. Well, if this is not KK's house, whoever KK is. So when they saw what was going on, he walking around naked. I guess I better get out the way because he ready to handle some business at this point. Now, one would say, well, Sean can walk around his house naked, but why would you want to walk around naked with guests in your house? Stay woke. I keep trying to tell you, it's a form of grooming. It's no different than a man walking around naked in front of his children, walking around in a house naked, being in somebody else's house walking around naked, exposing yourself. It's a form of grooming. Now, you're allowed to walk around your house naked all you want, but why would you want to do it with guests in your house? Lil Rod is a guest. Why are you walking around naked in front of him? That don't make no sense. Put some pants on. Put some boxers on. Mr. Jones believes that KK aided and abetted Mr. Combs' sexual assault of him and was working with Mr. Combs to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. So this is where people are going to have a problem with you, Mr. Jones, Lil Rod. You're a grown man of allegedly a sound mind. Why would you allow this behavior, number one, by Sean Puffy Combs? Why are you allowing him to touch you and grope your anus? This makes no fucking sense to me. Then you're saying Cuba Gooding Jr. did it to you on a yacht one day. See, all this is bullshit. Because people are going to look at you different because you're a man. And they're going to say, well, you're a heterosexual man. You're not supposed to be allowing a man to touch you, grope you, insinuate anything, walk naked in front of you. Nothing. You're supposed to stand up. Hey, what's up, dude? Put some pants on. The fuck's going on with you? See, that's why all this shit kept going on, because didn't nobody call Sean's bluff. If I was a dude and I walked into your house and you a man and you ain't got no motherfucking boxes on, I'm going to check your ass. Because I'm going to say, damn, dude, you ain't got no, what the fuck? I'm going to let you know, and I'm a man. I'm going to let you know. Why you walking around without no clothes on, man? Dude, put some clothes on. I mean, what do you look like walking to the front door naked? It's okay. It's a woman coming in. Not no man. Unless you down with homosexuality. But that's what he gonna say. It's my house. I do what I want. You either like it or get out. So, Mr. Lil Rod, you should have gotten out. Because I'm trying to figure out why a grown man is living in a house with another man any damn way. Checkmate. Just like we keep seeing Stevie J hanging on Sean's arm before he got arrested. Why are you hanging on a man with all these problems? Because I ain't trying to be around you. Now, some will say, well, he's a good friend. Bye. Because I believe there are allegations against Stevie J with being with a man. I believe Lil Rod has said something about that. that there's a video of CBJ and a white man having sex. So why is Lil Rod putting out these allegations that Sean has told him about an alleged rapper, which is supposed to be allegedly Meek Mill? He done something with him. Stevie J on a video with a white man. He's groping now Lil Rod because it's bait and switch. That's why. He's trying to see what Lil Rod is made of. Because what did I tell you about the looking glass? You can only look in the glass so long. You're going to want to go inside of the store and touch the merchandise. A sadist can't keep looking through the glass. He or she got to go in and try on the coat, try on the shoes. It's protocol. So you see something that you like or you want to engage in sexual activity and you don't even care what the person look like. As they used to say in college, you know, bagger, that means putting a bag over her face, block out what she looked like to have sexual relations with her. It's the same thing. I'm horny. I need sex. I don't give a fuck what you look like. I'm just trying to get off. Stay woke.
Also alleges Diddy and his team were grooming Lil Rod to engage in gay sex. Lil Rod further alleges that Diddy forced him to have sex with prostitutes and even drugged Lil Rod to get him to comply. On top of these,
forced him to have sex with sex workers. Are you hearing this? So he's accusing his entourage of helping him. Puffy's groping him and touching him in his anus and at all these different places on his body. So you blaming his workers, you blaming him, and now you're saying he forced you to have sex with sex workers. There's an allegation you woke up in the bed with Sean and 2 sex workers. Are you all hearing this bullshit? So how many times did you wake up in the bed with Sean Puffy Combs and other men? Did you have sex with Sean Puffy Combs, Lil Rod? Why don't you just say it and stop this nonsense? Because you can't explain, as I just said, living in this man's house for a whole year and all this nonsense was going on. So what is the time frame of these allegations, of the groping, the aiding and abetting of his staff members, friends, associates? I also believe you brought forward an allegation against Young Miami, the rapper. Her cousin or somebody was also groping and touching you inappropriately. What's the truth? So now we're going to say everybody was down with P. Diddy lifestyle that hung around with him. So I'm going to say it again. Are we going to find out that all these people are tainted and they're all carrying the same disease because they all have had sex with Sean Puffy Combs or each other? And those are the allegations also keep stirring up about Usher, that he was groomed by this man, touched inappropriately, sexed by this man, and he's carrying the herpes virus, paid lawsuits to put it to bed by giving it to women. As I just said, will we find out Sean has it and he passed it around to men and women and children? What's the truth?
sexual assault allegations, Lil Rod's lawsuit also alleges that Diddy ran a gun and drug trafficking scheme. He says there are hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in some serious illegal activity because Diddy apparently forced Lil Rod to constantly record him. The allegations continue, saying that Diddy covered up multiple shootings. To start, there's the New York...
Let me go back to one of the allegations here.
...alleges that Diddy ran a gun and...
Hold on one second, because it's on the screen. So he's alleging illegal activity, distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana. What else I see on the screen? I'm trying to read it all. Hold on. And mushrooms. Displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms.
...constantly record him. The allegations continue, saying that Diddy covered up multiple shootings. To start, there's the New York nightclub shooting in 1999. Lil Rod alleges Diddy required his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez to transport his illegal firearm into the NYC nightclub.
Is that true? Jennifer Lopez carried a gun into the club in 1999 where a woman was shot. That's the same allegation that Cassie is saying in her affidavit and indictment, that she too carried a gun, I think, 2 times for Sean Puffy Combs. But that means Sean didn't learn anything with the Jennifer Lopez shooting, and that night he was out with his friends. Why would you, years later, have this woman, Cassie, carrying a gun for you when you've already been down that road with Jennifer Lopez and Sean ended up doing 10 years for that incident, club shooting? You haven't learned anything. My thing is, if you have been involved in any type of crime, the best bet is not to go down that road again to be in a court of law. So if you've been accused of shooting somebody, then you shouldn't even be near a gun after that incident. But old habits die hard because he's Sean Puffy Combs. He thinks his shit doesn't stink. He's a grand narcissist. I'm Sean Puffy Combs. I got off. Found me not guilty. I'm good. I'm Gucci. On to the next. Now, years later, fast forward, new woman, gullible, green behind the ears, wet behind the ears. Here, baby, hold this gun for me. Sean is a glorified punk. He is. He is a glorified punk.
The court docs also allege Diddy forced his then artist Shine to assume responsibility for the shooting of several individuals. Lil Rod's civil suit points to another alleged cover-up too.
Say that again. Pertaining to Shine.
Court docs also allege Diddy forced his then artist Shine to assume responsibility for the shooting of several individuals. Lil Rod's civil suit points to another alleged cover-up too. This time for a shooting outside Diddy's Chalice Studios on September 12th, 2022. According to court docs, Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend referred to as G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod heard multiple gunshots ring out, and then he found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. After that, Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So
who shot G? Who shot this guy, this kid, young man, or whomever he is? Sean, did you shoot the guy? You just keep being in situations with gunfire. Why is that? Because you're a bad boy. You have a point to prove. You like giving guns to women to carry for you? That's some old hood shit. Here, baby, carry the gun. Here, baby, carry the dope. Put the dope in your legs, in between your legs, your kitty cat. A lot of you are like, damn, Queen, what the hell? Yeah, you never lived that life. You don't know anything about it. Women are known to traffic drugs, traffic guns, and they carry their girlfriends with them in the club to help sell the weed, the dope. I've seen it firsthand. Hell, sitting in VIP years ago. A certain person was dating this woman. She's a little bit older than him. And he had her distributing the weed in the club, and she had it in her boot. And he was telling her, you got to already have it out ready, not digging down, woo, woo, woo. And I thought, well, she can't have it ready because how's she going to have it ready? That makes no sense. Having it ready means I'd have to have it in my hand. But I was just sitting there watching like, Lord, have mercy. He's trying to teach this woman how to hustle in the damn VIP in the club. You're supposed to give her the instructions before you went out. But just showing you how women go along with the program in dating men and get wrapped up into illegal behavior, carrying the guns, toting the gun, hiding the gun, keeping the gun, the weapons in their homes, their apartments, trafficking the drugs for them, going out in public places, selling the drugs, sticking it in their bra. It's all the same. After that shooting, I don't need this type of hype. I don't live this type of life. I'm dating this man who wants to be 1 foot in the street and 1 foot in the recording studio. And that's the one thing about that life people need to understand. You can't straddle the fence because it doesn't work. It's never worked. It's never worked if you just a straight hood rat thug, okay? It don't work. Them days are going to be numbered. You either going to get jailed or you going to get killed. Take your pick. So if you are famous, wealthy, you're an athlete, entertainer, dancer, whatever, you know you can't have your foot in the street and then your foot over in your craft. That ain't never worked. And see, Sean has been afforded too many opportunities to get away with mischief because he was Sean Puffy Combs. He knew how to coerce, blackmail, threaten, and the people didn't come forward with an allegation. But his number's up now. The fat lady has sung, or shall we say sung.
Specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil suit involves his other son, Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and all this was facilitated by Diddy. That suit was filed in April, and in May, former model Crystal McKinney filed suit against Diddy too, alleging he drugged and sexually assaulted her in his New York studio back in 2003. Diddy's former bad boy artists have spoken out too, including members of Danity Kane, the girl group that Diddy helped form on MTV's Making the Band 3. Singer Aubrey O'Day alleges Diddy underpaid members of the band and later offered her the publishing rights to her songs if she signed an NDA. And there was a catch to that.
And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs Music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
Wow.
Just this month, Aubrey O'Day's Danity Kane bandmate Dawn Richard filed suit against Diddy. She alleged Diddy verbally and sexually abused her, all with the intentional infliction of emotional distress. There are so many layers to this.
So we got him giving this one lady, the Caucasian lady, her rights back. Hey, you can't say nothing bad about me, my son, the entity, my companies. And then the other girl, Dawn, African-American female, you done sexually assaulted her. All people who have worked with you and you allegedly trying to help in the music arena. You see, it's an even swap. I'll do you any kind of way, use you, abuse you, don't pay you all your money, don't give you the rights to the music. Oh, now you want the rights to the music, but you can't say this bad about me, don't talk about me, sign this paper. I can sexually assault you, drug you. That's all he's about. He's a user. And then we found out he's an actual drug user. Now, some may say drugs fuel this type of behavior. I don't believe that. It's just par for the course. He's a problem person with or without narcotics, pills, alcohol. He's a sadist. And as I said, a sadist is 9 times out of 10 built. He's just a tainted Build-A-Bear. That is all.
Story. Dozens of allegations, civil suits, and criminal charges. And all this while Diddy sits behind bars in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. But let's begin with those federal charges. Here's former federal prosecutor Gene Rossi. So going off and talking about those 3 charges, initially to me, when I looked over the indictment, I was like, only 3? It's only 14 pages. That's kind of small, short. But according to you, it sounds like RICO could be a giant charge.
I was surprised when I read this indictment that it is so short. What that tells me is the prosecutors just wanted to get this indictment out there to move this case along. And, given the scope of this case, 14 pages is nothing. I predict that they're going to supersede, amend the indictment, and maybe not add more charges, but add more allegations under each charge, as they say, to add more meat to the bones and have what they call a speaking indictment. A speaking indictment is one that's very, very detailed. It's almost like reading a novel. And a speaking indictment can be over 100 pages. This one is sort of a bare bones general indictment that I predict the federal prosecutors are going to amend, supersede, and add more information.
So I'm going to stop right there. Law and Crime is the content holder of this information. Feel free to finish it if you like. It's got about 8 more minutes left. I'm going to tie this content up with the elephant in the room. I played you these allegations by the women and the men to tie in the elephant in the room. You can't have one without the other when you're talking about sadism with children. If you are willing to traffic a 17-year-old from Michigan to New York, you're willing to pick up young girls to have sex with from concerts, different venues, avenues, street corners, whichsoever, you are the same person that would sexually assault your own children. Checkmate. That's the elephant in the room. When are you all going to talk about the fact that Sean Puffy Combs has 9 times out of 10 sexually assaulted his own children? I don't hear anybody speaking. Let's stop dancing around this pink elephant, okay? He is too far removed from reality. He is from an alternate universe. He's in his own bubble. He's in his own head. He is a narcissist. He is a sadist. He is a pedophile. So you need to use deduction. He has probably touched his own children because he is highly sexed. He is a highly sexual being. And when you have no control over your penis will go anywhere. Say it again, Quinn. Your penis will go anywhere it want to go. He has girl children. Damn near grown. At least 2 underage, or probably 18, turning 18. Another girl child. His boy children. He's a known homosexual, allegedly, by others. I'm going to let that sit right there. You want me to believe this man has not probably touched his own children? Because how do you differentiate the two? You're a highly sexual being. So you want me to believe, oh, he would never touch his own children? Who says? Who told you that? Where in the book of life did it say he wouldn't sexually assault his own children? Where in the book of life did it say that? Please show the queen. Yes, he would. Because he's a sadist. And he has a high appetite for sex. He likes to film sex. So there are no boundaries, as one of my commenters said under my video post. He has no boundaries. So you have no boundaries. You have no regard for people. You have no regard for children. You would sexually assault your own damn children. Why not? Because many people have done it. He won't be the first. He won't be the last. I won't doubt he has touched his children inappropriately. And will we find out that they have been touched? One will come forward one day to tell, yes, my father touched me, but I didn't want to say anything because it was already a grim situation with the indictment. Checkmate. That will be the true tragedy of this case. That Sean has done this to his own damn kids. Because he's nasty. And what did I say about the cameras in the house? See, ain't nobody paying attention. The man has hidden cameras in the house. Well, he has children that live in his house. Duh. Come on now, y'all. He has children living in his homes. Same homes he's having sex with random people and strangers. 1,000 bottles of lubricants. And you don't think he ain't touched his own kids? And you don't think he ain't watched his own children undress? Come on, you guys. Y'all ain't that gullible. I won't doubt his children have hidden cameras in their rooms. And that's what will also be interesting if we find out the government will tell us, oh, we found cameras in all the rooms. Checkmate. Now, how the fuck you going to explain that? a hidden camera in your girls' rooms, boys' rooms? Why? Now, I want you to think about that. Why would you have cameras in your children's rooms? Number two, why would you have cameras in bathrooms? Well, you know that's faux pas. That's a no-no. Did he have cameras in his restrooms? What do you need a camera in a restroom for? That's a place to do grown folks' business. Take a shower, take a bath, use the restroom, wash your face, whatever the hell you do in the bathroom. Shave your legs, shave your private parts. Just imagine seeing footage of his children undressing on video. I hope, for God's sake, there are no cameras in those children's rooms. They don't have footage of his children undressing or in compromising situations, if you get my drift. Because I don't put it past Sean. Because he's too far removed. He's all the way out to sea without a life preserver. He's gone. And the fact that he now wants to testify shows he's a fool. And he's acting as if he is his own attorney. That he wants to testify about what went on between him and Cassie. For what? For what? Because had he known that he was going to get an indictment and that video release, he probably would have never paid her. Hell, I just gonna let it all roll out. Let the indictment come, get arrested, go to court, tell what happened, say I was on drugs, I was in a low place, I'm an addict. Please forgive me. I apologize. So that's where he made his mistake. Number one, denying the abuse. Number two, paying Cassie first day after the lawsuit hit the fan. 3, the video got released. 4, he apologized. 5, he took the post off his IG. Now he's arrested. And now he's telling us 1 week later, oh, I want to tell my truth. You don't have no truth. Because one, you're mentally unstable. You're a drug addict, probably alcoholic as well. You're a sadist. What truth are you getting ready to tell the world? Because the one truth that you refuse to acknowledge is that you're homosexual. So if you can't tell us that you're gay, you can't tell us nothing else. Come on with it, Queen. Because you see, you can't have one without the other. Because it's your deviance that got you in this place in the first place. You're on Front Street because you're a deviant. So first you got to admit, I'm a deviant. Hot damn. I got to tell the world I'm a freak. I'm a nasty freak. I ain't your typical freak. I like everything. I got to film it, look at it, masturbate, hire people, force them not to pay them, bring in other people, beat them up, drag them, pull their hair out. I'm a nasty son of a bitch. You got to own that first, bro. Because sitting up on the witness stand crying about being a dope fiend and I loved her and I didn't mean to hurt her and I was treated like this as a kid and they did this to me, that ain't going to mean a damn thing. Because you can't get no pass. Because somebody molested you, hurt you. And we get it. Hurt people hurt people. People still carrying around old shit with them. The reason why they act and talk the way they act. But you taking it to a whole new level. You ain't just some dirty ass man out here that like to have sex with anything and everybody. You forcing people, you drugging people, you filming them. You're just committing crime after crime after crime after crime just to say, I like sex. No, bro, you don't get a pass. Ain't no pass. And as Suge Knight said to Cuomo on News Nation, you had a good run. You damn right. He had a good run. And instead of you utilizing the good run, you abused people and took advantage of them. That's why you are now in a federal holding facility in Brooklyn. Because you don't give a fuck. You never have. And when we look at your younger pictures of you back in the day, coming up in the industry, you look detached from yourself. You look insecure. You look like possibly, yeah, you could have been quite feminine then. Did somebody see it? I don't know, maybe. But when we go back and look at your pictures, you're a mighty young looking person because you were young. But see, you were tainted then. And there are probably some people who can attest, yeah, he was acting weird, talk weird, acting strange. But then nobody maybe know that you were just full-blown sadist, and you probably was just getting in the making of sadism. Because everybody has to have a start, you see, to the foolishness and the nonsense. There's always a start, there's always a jump off. And if it's true that your mother was a street worker or she liked to have sex with different men and she was bringing them home, you saw that. If you was abused by her, a father, grandfather, whomever, you're a witness to that. Then you went out into the earth and exacted that. And that possibly has led to you being who you are today, a deviant. And you take no responsibility for being a deviant. And there's no way I'm going to believe at 54 you have any remorse, any empathy. Because you know what I've learned about people like you who have no empathy? They're called sociopaths. What they're saying to the world is, they did it to me. Why not you? They did it to me. They hurt me. Fuck you. Hell no, you ain't getting no pass because they did it to me. So I'm going to do it to you. I'm going to give you what they gave me. Is that what we're talking about, Sean? You're mad at the world because the world betrayed you. Somebody stole your innocence. Somebody stole your boyhood. Somebody lied to you. Somebody bamboozled you. Somebody manipulated you. And you said, I got to give that back down the road. Because what do they say? Payback's a motherfucker. Oh, indeed it is. You paying back what was done to you. But look at the price now for revenge. Because all this manipulating you have done, coercion, threats, blowing up cars allegedly, sexual assaulting people, filming them, essay, pedophilia, you are now incarcerated, awaiting trial for your sins. And it doesn't matter what's on the indictment. It don't matter how many counts on the indictment. You have more allegations against you. And that's also a problem. So you may not stand account for all your sins in the courtroom. You may not go down for everybody you assaulted, beat up, shot. But you're going to go down. And that's your payback for some way back. That's my commentary. Thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Prayers for our friends and neighbors down in Florida, Georgia, also Tennessee. Schools closed today because of the harsh weather. Be aware of your faculties. Mind the children. Check on your neighbors. Make sure they're okay. If you're in high flood grounds, please go to a place where you can get to safety. Do not tread through water by foot or by car. As they say, don't drown. Turn around. Don't go in the waters, please. Everybody, please stay safe. Thank you for the lovely, kind words on my posts on my community page. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I may go live later tonight. We'll chop up some random conversation. There's one video I do want to do. I want to do one more solo video. Then I want to end that conversation because I don't like talking about child pedophilia. That's a subject I don't like venturing into. As you see with this conversation here with Sean Puffy Combs, I've had just about enough. Because I don't do that child pornography, pedophilia shit. It's disgusting and it's vile to me. And that case down in Florida is just disgusting as hell. And just keep seeing everybody make videos about it. It's too much. We're going to go to my community page. And we're going to get the answers from my polls pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe once again. And thank you for tuning into this live stream. Feel free to follow the Queen on Newsbreak. That is another platform where I am a contributor. A Puffy source says he is eating in jail. Yes, no, not sure. Eating minimum amount were the responses, were the answers. 37% of you said he's eating. 11% said he's not. 5% you're not sure. 47 says he's eating a minimum amount. Puffy wants to testify in his own defense. Should he? 31% yes. 62% no. 4% not sure. 4% says 50-50. So 4% for not sure and 4% 50-50. Family Matters dad, Vale Johnson, denies being caught having sex with Puffy in a back room by comedian Loose Cannon. Do you believe this rumor? 40% yes, 40% no, 13% not sure, 7% 50-50. Vale Johnson has denied knowing Sean Puffy Combs or having a sexual relationship and or rendezvous with him. Wow, what a mess. Do you think Puffy SA his own children? 35% yes, 27% no, 25% not sure, 14% 50-50, 213 votes. Wow. Thank you so much for answering that poll. With evidence being revealed thus far, a woman finally coming forward to speak on her previous lawsuit. Should Puffy ask for a plea? And that's Miss Dahlia Graves, who claims that she was assaulted by him and his bodyguard, Mr. Joe Sherman. They drugged her and sexually assaulted her. And it's vile the way it's described, one going in the front, one going in the back. It's very nasty. Is she telling the truth? And should he ask for a plea deal at this point? Because without here, he wants to testify. But should he take a plea, ask for a plea? Hell, will they offer a plea? Let's go there. Should he ask for a plea? 55% yes, 34% no, 11% not sure. I also asked you about Julie Chrisley. She was resentenced to her original 7 years in prison. Was it the right or wrong judgment? 58% right, 26% wrong, 11% not sure, 5% don't care. And then I talked to you all about chaos. Attracting chaos the other day in my live stream. Do you attract chaotic people? 27% yes, 35% no, 37% sometimes. I can't tell if I am. 1% don't care, 0%. Hollywood Reporter says Puffy was fueled by drugs, which led to his alleged sick behavior. 14% yes, 4% no, 3% not sure. He was already a sadist. 64% A and D, which would be yes, and already a sadist, 15%. Was he groomed by the industry execs or already a sadist? 12% groomed by execs. 61% already a sadist. Fame pushed him, 9%. Not sure, 6%. A, B, and C, which is groomed by execs, already a sadist, and fame pushed him, 12%. Wow, wow, wow. The other questions are pertaining to Natalia Grace. I want to thank you for your time. Prayers for our children. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Anyone with knowledge of a child being abused physically, mentally, sexually, please call 911, bypass DHS. Ain't nobody got time for that paperwork shuffling. Just call the damn police. And also contact RAINN, RAINN, if you are a victim of sexual abuse, sex trafficking. There is help out there for you. And know that you are worthy. You do not have to be coerced into any type of sexual activity with anyone if you do not want to. And you do need to mind your drinks when you are out and about. Do not let anybody bring you a drink. Always watch your drink being made. And if you go to someone's home that you do not know anything about that person personally, you don't know them well enough, please watch them make your drink. Because everybody is not genuine. And you have to be aware of your faculties at all times. As I said, we are built on blind trust. At some point, we have to be alone with people. We have to trust them, and we have to pray that they're going to do right by us. So when you meet and greet people, you do not know if they're going to film you by phone or hidden camera. You are taking a chance once the door is closed. And as it was said to me, once that door is shut, all bets are off. Exactly. You don't know people. So you have to pray that you're going to be in good hands when you're alone with a stranger or somebody that you think you know. And we've learned the ramifications of thinking you know somebody. Round-the-way person, friend of a friend of a family member. Once again, once the door is closed, all bets are off. Be safe out there. Thank you for your time and following this network. Take the polls on my community page. Feel free to comment below the polls and the videos. Also, follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. I have a video that should be uploading pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs and the latest updates. Once again, Vale Johnson, the father of Family Matters, denies any sexual interlude with him, that he was never in a sexual situation with Sean. He denies the allegation, rumor by Mr. Loose Cannon, a comedian. Don't know where Loose Cannon got that from. So now he's got to come back with a rebuttal against this alleged lie, if it's true or not true. Sean Puffy Combs is allegedly eating food in the jail, does not fear being poisoned, and also he wants to testify on his own behalf. Will he testify? And the elephant in the room is, why aren't you all talking about the fact that perhaps he has sexually assaulted his own children? That's the question. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. You've been listening to The Vault Excel.